Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a minute since I've been back on YouTube. I moved to Mammoth Lakes about almost 5 months ago, September, October. Such a time has gone by. Just want to let you guys know. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a upload schedule where I can go. Over these last few days, I've seen a couple of videos. I haven't been on YouTube for a while, and I just got back. Just watched a couple of videos on ketosis, and there's a lot of videos out there like debunked ketosis or the problem with ketosis. And Vox just came up with a video about the ketosis or the ketogenic lifestyle, or what is keto. And I myself just see faults just right in the beginning, how in the semantics of what is ketosis or what is keto. There's a ketogenic diet and there's a ketosis state, which I think should be absolutely separated with what they are. I think a ketogenic state is what people are looking for, and they use these different things. The ketogenic diets where people have took all these things together, amalgamated all different things, and sees what works for them. And first and foremost, like one of the first things I would say is there's a lot of different ways to get to health, whether it be vegetarian, vegan, whether you're doing a blood type diet, which I actually I don't have too much information on, but I know there's things I've done in my life that have helped my health. One, going vegan, two, and also doing a ketogenic lifestyle. So one of the things I'm piloting right now for myself in my life is doing a vegan ketogenic diet. So, Vox came up with a video, and I think it was one of the more incomplete videos that they've put out. It talked about keto, and keto is such a broad term for what's going on when people enter a ketogenic state. And I was really, throughout the years, I've been really influenced by this bit that Chris Rock talked about politics, whether you're conservative or you're liberal. He's like, I'm not any one thing. I'm conservative on some subjects, I'm liberal on other subjects. And he talked about responding. Let it swirl around in your head a little bit before you form an opinion. And I waited a few days before I actually kind of listened to a couple of those things that I've heard on the lifestyle. And I don't know everything, but what I do is I know what worked for me. And through the books that I have had, I've been really influenced by Dr. Joseph Mercola. He has a book called Fat for Fuel. And he also has another book that came before that, which was Effortless Healing. And that's had a huge impact on the way I perceive health. And it was interesting about what I see on Mike the Vegan's channel. He had this debunked keto, and then also the Vox, is that they were looking at compartmentalizing what a ketogenic state is and turning it into something that framed their argument. And it's really interesting. It's like I always have to be careful when folks, and what I listen to, when people weaponize their arguments. And I think people do even the same thing with the Bible. Is they find certain verses that support their argument, and they're able to use that and weaponize that against other people. Dr. Martin Luther King brought up that I think unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. And I think that's true with how I perceive things, especially with the ketogenic journey that I've been on. I think when people go on their certain journeys, there's all these different pathways and all these different ways to get to health. And I'm still on my journey. And I think that's what makes this life more interesting, is because I get to discover more, find out more. And it's like walking in the wild, and there might be some hiccups that are gonna come through. And but I think whether you're going on this journey to health, whether it be vegan or whether it be ketogenic, or whether it be whatever it is that you choose, I don't think it's a if or. I think it's an and. You could do all these different things, and your life is ultimately your palette, so you get to create that lifestyle in the way that you so choose. And I think that's more of an empowering way of being, by reaching your destination. So I think your destination will ultimately, whatever it is that you choose, it could be the quality of the steps that you take that are going to get you to the health. I think people who I think are really excessive with the way that they get into a ketogenic diet and people, in whatever your diet may be. Um, so, it's interesting in the Vox videos or even in Mike the Vegan's video, they never even mentioned the underlying function of what a ketogenic state does. But they had never talked about metabolic mitochondrial therapy, where what they're doing actually in a ketosis state is that it's a metabolic condition or metabolic state that you put yourself into, which is able to address all of these different ailments that are involved with or that are, I don't know how to say it, but puts you in a state that's not inflammatory. So you put yourself and remove the inflammatory aspects of it, but also just like it's physiologically how things work in the body is your body, sure, your brain runs on glucose. Your brain can also run on ketone bodies. The thing is with cancer grows on glucose, but it cannot run on ketone bodies. So that's one of the aspects of things that they just never mentioned. And also just the wellness of mitochondria in your body, and being the goal of what actually ketosis does. And I think the community is really split up with what ketosis is, and I'm not going to deny that it has come up on like the Vox as kind of where paleo's kind of gone down, and it's kind of that point where keto's gone up, which I think paleo is gateway drug for going into ketosis. But the only one issue that I have was them talking about ketosis is like Atkins was a version of it. And it's not like, yes, they have low to no carbs in common, but that does not make them the same. I think in people's arguments, they become compartmentalized. Let's say A solves B and B solves C, or this is a very common thing when I look at like Effortless Healing, such an amazing book. If you guys ever have a chance to reach it, it is a holistic kind of approach to all these certain things. And the thing was with Mike, he brought up that how you can't attribute all these different things to being in ketosis for weight loss or all these certain things. But for me, before I was in ketosis, is like, when you go into ketosis, for me, it was easier for me to curb my appetite. And I have a late night eating disorder where I just eat. I don't know how to not eat at night. And I was able to solve that from that. And I was able to get from a lower caloric deficit. And that was because of the lifestyle that I chose, or going into ketosis helped me do that, helped me get into caloric intake. And also when I was losing weight, I used to have what I think people refer to as structural sleep apnea. I was never diagnosed, but I would snore at night, so I would like cough and all that stuff, but it hasn't happened to me since I've gone into ketosis and lost those certain things. So I think A doesn't just solve B, or B solves C. I think there's something that you do with your body which will do all these certain things. Like, I started meditating as of recently. Does meditation help? But I don't know. Maybe it helps my cortisol levels. Maybe my stress levels do go down because of that. And there's all these different things. I don't think there's any one answer to one certain thing. I think a lot of people have reached the destination of health through multitudes of different attitudes or of practices, and I hope people share that, because I think there's a lot of that information that's there, because my body is differently than yours, and I don't know, I just wanted to share that with you. Just, I don't know what your journey is, I don't know where you're going, but I think that there's something there, and I find a lot of different things from me going trying this new journey, doing vegan ketosis is really interesting, but finding yourself in doing a little bit of ketosis, a little bit of veganism, a little bit of all of these certain things have worked for me. So yeah,